wonder why you would hide the live video. There we go. I'm going to slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Applesauce. Waiting on it to be 5:30. Doggone almonds trying to take me out. All right, good morning. Gonna start this live as always with some emotional regulation. You're gonna do 3 inhales, inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale, and inhale and exhale. 3 breathings, deep breathings. I'm gonna count you in a 3, 2, 1 fashion, descending order. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. All right, I'm coming back in frame. Good morning, Lola. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers, daughter of Leslie Donnell Thomas, granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Eden II, and great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. Today, we are talking about emotional armor. And this came from me doing a Brew Leader Brain and a PA for today. And it was a positive thing in that regard. But yesterday, Chad and I decided that we were going to have a different meaning for emotional armor based upon Challenge Yourself from yesterday. As always, this live is sponsored by the elements of H2NO. This is that liquid gold, that water, that Basal, that agua. Make sure you have a bottle of water near you today, because throughout the live, I am going to say, drink water. And you're going to type in drink water, and then you're going to sip water. Don't drink a whole 8 ounces of water during this live unless you are extremely thirsty. You're just going to take a little cup, gulp, 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 and that's it. The reason why you do that is because the brain is 75% water. And if you slept and woke up, you have been dehydrated by simply sleeping. Now, my question to you is, do you wear emotional armor? Do you wear emotional armor? So instead of a quote today, we got a question. I got a bunch. You can tell when I'm brainstorming because my doggone desk is full of Post-its. Do you wear emotional armor? Yes or no? Let me know. Hi, Daisy. I don't know, but I think I'm probably yes. Okay. Honest answer, Nola. Happy to me says, of course. All right. Daisy, do you wear emotional armor? I believe Lola is working. And so that part. Okay. All right. So here is Dr. Donna's definition of emotional armor. Emotional armor is the invisible shield the brain builds to protect itself from pain, rejection, or disappointment. Good morning, Jared. We are talking about emotional armor, and I've asked the question, do you wear emotional armor? And my definition starting point is this. Emotional armor is the invisible shield the brain builds to protect itself from pain, rejection, or disappointment. It is the mental defense mechanism that keeps people from being fully open, honest, or vulnerable. And not because they don't care, but because their brain is trying to keep them safe. So who is always trying to keep the brain safe? Who's trying to do that? Who in the brain is trying to keep the brain safe? All day, every day. Who's responsible for the safety of the brain? This is still too long. Amygdala. That's not for y'all, that's for me from the TikTok live. Yes. So Amy and Lala, the amygdala, the ACC is the referee. It's making sure that the information that Amy and Lala try to send to prefrontal cortex is actually real. So it's verifying. It's the conflict monitor. Like, yeah, that's a stealth saber-tooth tiger. No. So Amy and Lala are always trying to keep you safe. They're always trying to keep you safe, so they are responsible for that emotional armor that you see up there. So true real leaders don't rely on emotional armor. They replace protection with connection. They train the prefrontal cortex to process discomfort, manage emotions intelligently, and they choose courage over concealment. You said what, Doc? I said the real leader prefrontal cortex chooses courage over concealment. The filtering made me think it was trying to protect. Yes. So when I was in the military, whenever we were in defensive positions, we always wanted cover and concealment, because cover is going to stop some stuff from coming towards you. Concealment is just going to stop people from seeing you. And so what's happening is the armor is concealing it and covering you, but you have to choose courage. So if the amygdalas are trying to keep you away from pain, rejection, and disappointment, what can't you do? If the amygdalas are trying to keep you from pain, rejection, or disappointment, what can't you do? I'm going to give you the answer because we just talked about it yesterday. Challenge yourself. And if you don't challenge yourself, you don't get new neurons from the dentate gyrus, which means you can't create new neural pathways. Hebb's law won't work. So you have this emotional trauma, this emotional armor. It's stopping you from pain, rejection, or disappointment. It's keeping you safe from yourself, and now you can't grow. So as we said yesterday, stay safe and stay the same. And this armor is protecting you. No, don't take a risk. No, don't challenge yourself. Last time you did that, say, are you sure? And then the basal ganglia is there saying, hey, we're comfortable. Why are you exerting all that emotional energy? Why are you taking all that time, man? We're good over here. Don't try nothing new. Yes, don't try nothing new. That ain't what we doing. Chill out. Why you over here trying to do something? Man, we good. We safe. We the same. You know what I'm saying? Today is predictable. We've been doing the same shit for 15 years. 20 years in. Now you trying to change something. Why? Chill out. Nobody got time for all that. And then if you try to change, then the basal ganglia tells Amy and Lala, hey, go send a threat up there. Go ahead and send some cortisol to the prefrontal cortex. Dummy over here trying to do something. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting that happen. Go ahead and make them afraid. Remind them of some trauma from last year, from 2 years ago, from 5 years ago. Remind them that it went left so we can stay right here in this comfort zone. I need those new neurons from the dentate gyrus. You do. You do. If you want to access them 86 billion, you're going to have to go challenge yourself, because they're not showing up unless you got a new challenge, because the basal ganglia already knows what to do. So it ain't about to send you nothing but routine tasks. That's it. That's all it's about to do. So you have to choose courage over concealment. Oh, my heart break. Y'all done saw me cry on lives before. You done saw me go hamburger last Monday or the Monday before that. I'm like, do you not understand the greatness in you? Because that's where the strength is at. That is where the strength is at. I had someone tell me men don't cry. I said, men got tear ducts too. Well, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to do that. Okay, well, you're not going to grow, because tears are nothing but a stress relief. Tears are saying, I got to get this out of me. That's all it is. And so if you have decided I'm never going to cry, emotional armor instead of emotional damage, I'm not going to appear to be vulnerable on live. Okay, emotional armor. You don't know what's on the other side of that release of willing. I'm a soldier. I'm 10 toes down. Don't get it twisted. I can battle rattle. I'm not going to say it because I ain't about to get fined, but don't think for 1 second if you try to come up to me and you start trying to cause me harm that I might not cause you some harm too. We're going to be reciprocating. But at the same time, too tough to grow. Exactly. So it's just an armor. I don't cry. I don't cry in public. I'm a soldier. I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. I'm going to laugh. I potentially could experience all of the feelings on the feelings PDF that we have, that we give people. Yes, because I don't have armor around it anymore. I had it, and then I didn't have it. When I was little, I didn't have it. Everybody, you toughen up, toughen up, toughen up. Wear your heart on your sleeve, toughen up. You too damn tough. Your ass need to lighten. I'm like, listen, where's the balance? Where's the balance? I don't know why YouTube does that. Give me a second. They try to tell me to ask a question. YouTube ain't even listening to what I'm saying. The question makes no sense. They told me right now to add a QA sticker for messy with your food, yes or no. Y'all listening? If you can listen and send me a violation, listen and send me a question that actually matches what I'm talking about, okay? Let the algorithm. All right, so Dr. Donna says emotional armor may keep you safe, but it also keeps you stuck. It keeps you stuck. So let's be honest right now. Have you ever used your emotional armor to protect you to your own detriment? Have you ever used it to say, nope, I'm not doing, nope, I'm not, we good. I'm putting my armor on 10 toes down and I ain't changing. Have you used it to be safe and stuck and stuck? So it doesn't bode well for you neurologically. Good morning, Regina. It doesn't bode well. So why do you do it? Yes, Nola, you did just stop doing that this year. Well, part of it is because of some external stimuli that created the harm in the first place. So in my case, I lived with 3 different types of abusive alcoholics and addicts in my family. And from the time that I could remember, my earliest memory of my older sibling was, I think I was 4 or 5 years old, and she locked me in a closet and she told me I was adopted, and she hit me and she punched me and she told me I was adopted. And she used to do that frequently. And so that was her whole thing. So from 5 years old to 8 years old, that was her thing. She's going to beat Dee Dee up. And then Dee Dee got to be taller than her. And one day, she threw a full bottle of peroxide at my arm. And I didn't flinch and I didn't move. And I turned around and I gave her the look of, this ain't little Dee Dee no more. And we never had any physical issues ever again. And then she switched to verbal onslaughts. And so her thing went from physical to that ain't shit, that ain't shit, that ain't shit until I was 40. So she just switched tactics. And it didn't work because I'm still me. But every time I tried to go do something, I heard that ain't shit. That ain't shit. As soon as I tried to do something on my own, when I first started doing live 702 days ago, I heard her voice. That ain't shit. Your lives ain't shit. Ain't nobody wanted that. That ain't shit. I heard it. And it didn't stop me because I noticed I said 702 days ago. 702 days ago. Been hearing it. And my mother always told me, fix your hair. So I'm doing like this and a couple of lives. Now I'm just doing it because symmetrically. But yeah, so it's like, oh. And then I was saying words wrong. So all my speaking communication certifications came up when I didn't enunciate. I didn't pronounce that word right. That's there too. And then I'm telling you, hey, I'm going to fuck this word up for about 4 or 5 days. Then I'm going to have a dopaminergic, adenosine, dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. That was there. It's there. Pomodoro effect. Because it's there. So it stops. Like Jared said, just stops today. Because what is it protecting you from? So imagine if I listened to my sister and I quit my corporate job and went to another corporate job. I'm not here today. And the greatness that is coming from this wouldn't be here today. So that emotional armor is stopping you from being extraordinary. Were they all abusive in different ways? Absolutely. Hurt people. That doesn't stop me from going to my hippocampus bank of neurons and withdrawing neurons so that I can do Hebb's Law. I've said this story before, and I think it's worth repeating today. In the 7th grade, when my mother decided to indulge in things that back in the 80s, you know what that was. And she did that for 18 months. My sister was a loosey-goosey out in the street, and I, in the 7th grade, was going to school, doing my homework, and getting good grades. And so when I got in the 8th grade I wanted to go to Cass Tech. That's one of the CTA high schools in Michigan. My aunt graduated from there. In order to get the application, just the application to take the test, not to get in, but get the application, they used your 7th grade grades in history, civics, English, math, and science. And if you did not have a 3.0 or above overall in those 4 classes, you didn't get the application. So if I had have let their external anxiety and all that was happening back half of the 6th grade into the 7th grade, back half, all of 7th grade into the 8th grade, guess who would not have been able to go to their high school? Me. So even with all that happening and going on, that emotional armor that I put on, it didn't stop me from going to school and doing what I needed to do to get out of that situation. And how many times have you used that external anxiety to say, yeah, forget it? Basal Ganglia and Amy and Lala just talking you into dumb shit. Did her voice become part of your amygdala? It did. I heard it, but we sound almost exactly alike. So it was my voice, basically. Her voice is a little bit higher than mine, but we speak the same pentameter and everything. We're probably the only people that can imitate the other person's voice. So that's it. So I didn't let that stop me. Didn't let it stop me at all. But I heard it. That ain't shit. And it's kind of whispered like, that ain't shit. That ain't shit. So it wasn't like, that ain't shit. It wasn't loud. It was just soft enough to make me go, ooh. And then I did it anyway. I did it anyway because the main thing has always been the main thing. So now I get into my CTA high school. My sister, for that time of her popping off, leaving the house for 4 months, she graduated with a 1.98 GPA from high school, and she had to go to Saturday school and night school to finish high school on time because of the same 18 months. My mother had to pay 4 months worth of sick leave back to the job while she was in rehab. So they took a while trying to recover, and I didn't have anything to recover from. Would you still be in our comfort zone? We would still be in why our brain is so foggy, etc. Thanks for changing. My pleasure. I didn't listen. I didn't listen to 2 senior leaders. One that was still at Frito-Lay. The other one wasn't, when they told me don't quit your job because you need your insurance. What about your daughter? Didn't listen. And they both ended up leaving their corporate jobs and then going into consulting themselves after me. So yeah, that emotional armor is no brainer. It's not. So why do people choose emotional armor? I'm glad you asked, Jared. People choose emotional armor because the brain's number one job is protection, not progression. Protection, not progression. And so here's the breakdown. The brain safety system, the amygdala, detects the threat. Not just physical danger, but emotional pain. And when someone feels judged, rejected, or embarrassed, the amygdala reacts the same way it would to physical harm. The brain then signals, protect yourself. That's what you got to do. So emotional armor becomes a shield against that pain. A shield. So anytime you feel judged, rejected, or embarrassed, here comes the armor. Like Iron Man. We'll put it all on. So you are going to choose protection, not progression. And so when I say do something, if it is part of your judgment, rejection, or embarrassment, then you start protecting yourself with your emotional armor. You can't do what I'm saying do because of the emotional armor. And as I told people on TikTok this morning, I said, I don't show up on your For You page or in the lives by accident. It is no coincidence. It's rule number 38 NCIS gives. It's not. That means it's time for you to switch from protection to progression. However, the basal ganglia, the comfort cousin, and the terrified twins, Amy and Lala, are going to tell you no. Don't do that. Remember, last time you do that, they're going to remind the hippocampus with enough cortisol to say, hey, last time that failed. Cortisol goes up to the prefrontal cortex, brain fog, and you shut down, and you stay safe and stay the same. Make that a highlight. Okay, number 2, the memory of hurt. So the hippocampus stores emotional memories. And if a person has been hurt, dismissed, or betrayed in the past, the brain remembers that pattern, hurt, dismissed, or betrayed. And when similar situations arise, the hippocampus cues the amygdala to activate the armor before vulnerability can even surface. Remember back in the day, power twins, activate. So it's like, put the armor. Hey, Amy, Lala, get the armor. Get the armor. And they never even checked to see if it was the same situation. Jerry said, yep, protection. Being rejected as a kid stopped my progression or being the best me. So now it seems similar. It smells similar. It almost looks similar. So here you come, putting that doggone armor on. And then the avoidance habit. Thank you, basal ganglia. Over time, the basal ganglia, which we know as the habit center, turns protection into a reflex. Jared said, yep, protection. Yep, okay, got it. It jumped, but I got it. Same thing. You said that already. Okay, here comes Bridget. Happy Tuesday. I couldn't get into your live. The universe was trying to hold me back. Well, you're here now. There you go. So it didn't work. The universe was unsuccessful this morning. Turns protection into a reflex. Ugh. So avoiding openness becomes automatic. And that's what Nola was experiencing. That's why she said it was just this year when she took the armor off. So people stop noticing they're armored up because their brain wires safety as routine. So you walking around with all this armor, look at the brain, you got all that on, heavy ass armor, and you don't even know it no more. And you tell me, Dr. John, that's too much. I can't do all that. I'm like, well, if you took that armor off, you'd be able to lift up your thumbs and subscribe to Instagram and start adding them questions. But right now, you got a shield and a sword in your hand. So you can't even subscribe. You were tenacious. Yes. You got to take all that off. You got to take all that off. No, Dr. Donna. Yes, you do. Number 4 is the leadership cost. There is a cost to wearing all this armor, Dr. Donna, besides paying for purchasing it at the basal ganglia shop and the amygdala shop that I just got it on. What do you mean there's a cost? The cost is to the prefrontal cortex. The decision-making and empathy region can't fully engage when the brain is defending itself. Good morning, Sean. You can't be like this and see people and have empathy and feel what you feel because you like attack. Put them up. Put them up. That's what you're doing, right? This means less authenticity. Be authentic, okay? My book, The A in Real Leaders Wear Pink, is a whole authentic section in Real Leaders, and it's 12 of them for it. So this means authenticity. This means less authenticity, lower trust, and blocked emotional intelligence. I asked on TikTok, and Bridget was on here. I asked on TikTok today, what is the people's relationship with their brain? And they couldn't answer it. I asked them how they feel about what I said, and they couldn't answer it. Why? Because of emotional armor. Like, feel? The fuck is she talking about? Fuck them feelings. No. The armor cost me a lot mentally and financially. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. So now you got a weak prefrontal cortex. The basal ganglia has said, hey, just keep the armor on. It's easier. You keep taking it off and putting it back on. That's wasting time. That's wasting neurological time. We need to be efficient. Just wear it. You'll get some muscles and you'll wear it. And so the amygdala, Amy and Lala got it on all day long. And the whole objective is to not feel shit. Nothing. We ain't going to feel nothing. And we going to protect ourselves from everything. And so then you sit in your comfort cocoon with your nice armor on, and you ain't feeling nothing that feels anything like pain, growth, or any type of feeling whatsoever. You are numb, and that's it. And then you do that until the day after you're no longer here. So Dr. Donna says emotional armor may protect your heart, but it paralyzes your growth. And real leaders don't hide behind it. They heal through it. Don't hide behind the pain, heal through the pain. Had I not had the guts and the courage many moons ago to say when I was doing payback speaking and talking to those kids and telling them about my experience with the nice little 1980s situation that was going on, we need to be finishing, yet fishing. Yes. So that part. So instead of you're avoiding healing. So you're hiding behind it. Look at that brain. That brain ain't trying to heal nothing. That's not trying to heal anything. And so then, yes. Hey, Jared, if you send me your email, I can literally give you, I can message you. Because the other day you didn't message me. Message me right now to send you the feelings PDF. I think you can download it. That way I can send you a screenshot of it and send you the 3-step method to start processing your feelings. So message me right now on Instagram. If you got to jump off to do that, go send me a message right now because you need that. So yeah, you're not healing. You're hiding. And then I come along and tell you to do something. And then you got this armor on and you're like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Somebody this morning told me there was a vet on TikTok live and told me he wasn't signing up on Instagram. I said, I didn't. Or why Instagram or something to that effect. I said, because it's on Instagram. Everybody's discomforted on Instagram. I said, there's people that didn't have an account. Sean, you on here. You didn't have an account. You had to sign up. Or some people had to go dust off the account and come back. It's on Instagram because I was guided for it to be on Instagram. And that's why. I understand, Jared, I have no real why. So whomever wants that feelings PDF, message me and I will send you a screenshot of it in a 3-step process that Nola used to finally start feeling her feelings. All of them. Because feelings are just a dashboard. If you think about driving, the tire pressure light goes on, the gas light goes on. You just go get some air in the tires. You just go get some gas. It's time to change the oil, you get the oil change. Windshield washer fluid is low, you do that. If you have electric vehicle, it's time to charge the battery. But for these feelings, if you feel hungry, you're not like, why the fuck do I feel hungry? Motherfucking, I'm hungry again. You just eat. But now you're crying. Oh, why am I crying? Because you got stress. Why am I angry? Anger means something needs to change. That's why it's there. If you got all the way to anger, some shit that got on your nerves for real, you need to change something. Why my PTSD, I remember some shit from the army and I just start crying. And I'm like, I'm going to let it happen. I'm going to let it happen because it's time for it to come up. Every time I keep that down there, that's stopping me from learning something else because I put some armor on there. I'm not doing that shit no more. Yes, know what is the cause of the pain, fix it and heal. This is where I am. I thank you because before I was going around with the pain. I would love to address my entirety for change. Okay, Regina, you stepped away or you stepped in away. So the point is, feel your feelings. And that's why I do it. Because now you can't say, oh, you're like, oh, Dr. Donna is weak. No, she not. Go read some of the stories. Go. Ain't nothing weak about me. And only in the people, let me tell you something. The people, I saw it pop up, Jerry. The people who told you crying is weak got emotional armor on. You said what, Doc? That's why they said it. Because if everybody went around actually talking about their feelings, guess what they would have to do? They would have to start talking about their feelings too. But if they say crying is weak, if they say tears is weak, there you go, being a feminine, docile ass woman crying all the time like a little weak bitch. That right there. So they are training you, especially the hurt people, because the hurt people hurt people. And then it's called victimizing the victim if you say something. Well, what was you doing? That was your fault and all of that. So the whole cycle from dysregulation is built on you not saying shit about what happened. My sister's like, why are you still bringing that up? Because you ain't apologized, motherfucker. You ain't told me why you did it. That's why I keep bringing it up. But I ain't bringing it up no more because they don't have contact with me. I gave them an opportunity to let's all heal together. And they didn't respond through the email. So die with the lie. Yes. Okay, I'm multitasking, so I'll be slow in responding to questions, may have to walk across the room. I recognize that now. That part. Because I'm not going to continue to be in neurotoxicity. Because y'all stuck. Y'all all got armor on. But I'm not going to, because people with armor create neurotoxicity. And we neuro clear over here. So if it's time for this feeling to come up, it's coming up. If I'm on a live when it come up, it's coming up. That's how it's working. I was at an appointment with Noah. When aircraft kept flying over, I told the guy, I said, I got PTSD. These airplanes I'm about to have a moment. I'm going to go sit in the car and listen to some gospel music. Because I'm not going to be able to finish this appointment right now. This ain't working for me. Every 2 minutes. I was like, okay, gotta go. I would tell it. I told you on Saturday, I knew we was going to be there for a minute. I walked up to the wife and I said, which bathroom can I use? Because I am old. I got perimenopause and I'm probably going to be peeing every 2 hours because I'm drinking water. I sure did. I'm not about to be holding my pee and I'm going to be there all day long and it's hot and I'm in a closet. I'm drinking water and I'm peeing and Gatorade and I'm peeing. Point blank period. That's how that's going. So yeah, so you over here all afraid and everything. And you letting the people in the armor. Motherfucker tell you don't cry, leave. Don't talk to them no more. Get divorced. I said it. Because they are creating emotional toxicity for you and them. Because a person that can't feel their feelings will do anything to you and say anything to you because they can't feel. And they're doing it to protect themselves, saying all kind of shit and doing all kind of shit so they will be comfortable. So their armor is around them. Ain't gonna try nothing new. I don't want to do that shit over there. That's some weak shit. They start dismissing everything that's valuable and important to you because of this emotional armor that they put on and they kept on, and the basal ganglia got them in it, and now it is just reflex. They got it on. As soon as you hit, think of Iron Man. And now they are robotic as shit. So they got to go so you can grow, and you got to throw your armor away today. If you have sat on this live anytime and seen me have a moment and thought anything other than, okay, cool. Damn, I wish I could be that free. Damn, I wish I could be that free. To have those moments publicly. And they're on my YouTube channel. So hundreds and thousands of people will see that later in the future. And I don't give a fuck. Because the brain brains, tear ducts are there for you to express stress, happiness, pain, feelings, all of that. That's why everybody has them. If everybody wasn't meant to cry, then everybody wouldn't have tear ducts. That's like saying, there you go with them teeth again. Why you over there chewing? Motherfucker, because that's what teeth are for. Over there with them eyes blinking. Nope. You a dang gonna go bot. Yep. You better stop that shit. Because it's stopping you. It's in the way. If you try to move around, imagine you got this armor on. That shit is heavy. You doing like this everywhere. You can't turn. You got to turn your whole body. You can't turn your neck. You can't bend down like the Tin Man in the Wiz. You go, you doing like this. All because you won't take that shit off and cry. Have a moment. Lay on the floor in the fetal position and say that was fucked up what they did. Yes. RoboCop like. That's what's happening. You ain't protecting shit. And it's cowardice. Winston Churchill during the Blitz, and they say he was an emotional man, and I'm okay with that. During the Blitz, I mean, imagine you go to work, you come home, your house gone. He in the streets crying with people, saying we still ain't surrendering. Fuck them. Somebody go get some doggone bricks. Rebuild. It's not being vulnerable, it's not being weak. It's showing that you're human. It's showing that you feel that your insula is actually insulating. It takes courage to be free in a world full of armored scaredy cats. That is correct. That is 100% correct. It takes courage to be your 100% authentic self. And it happens in the prefrontal cortex because that's where your personality is. So it takes courage to be me and be out here and saying these things and doing what I'm doing and not really stopping because of what an unaccountable armored up motherfucker got to say to me. You regular as shit. You scared of your own shadow. I'm not listening to you. You in your comfort zone over there judging my reality. I think not. Do what I'm doing. Do what. So if you got shit to say, come do it. Go live for 702 consecutive days. No matter how you feel, no matter how tired you are, no matter what's going on in the world, 702 consecutive days. And then you can come see me about some shit I said or did. Consecutive days. Ain't no days off. Then we'll see who's who. That's why I said I'm the baddest motherfucker walking the face of the planet Earth, because people are inconsistent, because people walking around with this armor on, because people won't take 5 days to figure out how to say adenosine or dopaminergic, or they won't say, yeah, man, I fucked that test up. I'd take that test 3 times in order to get 90 something on that test. Mask off. Exactly. So how does Dr. Donna explain using your prefrontal cortex for your emotional armor instead of your emotional armor? So take that shit off and use your prefrontal cortex. Number 1, pause before you protect. That 10 significant seconds of silence. When your brain feels threatened, your amygdala fires first. It's fast, emotional, and defensive. Real leaders pause before reacting. The pause activates the prefrontal cortex, which gives you time to think instead of armor up. You're going to stop. You're going to count. 1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. That cortisol is going to calm all the way the hell down. And now you're going to be able to think. So here's a real leader brain tip. And it's taking 10 breaths before responding. And this oxygenates your prefrontal cortex and signals, I'm safe enough to think. I'm safe enough to think. Because you're just thinking about what's taking place. You're just thinking about it. Number 2, label what you feel. The PFC gains powers when you give words to emotions. That's why I'm sending Jared the PDF of the feelings, because you don't even know what the feelings are. No, you just have to look at the feeling sheet, because she was like, damn, that's a feeling. Damn, that's a feeling. That's a shit. It's a lot of feelings, and it's categorized and everything. So when you name your feelings, I feel hurt, I feel dismissed, I feel afraid, I feel deflated, I feel betrayed, you lower amygdala activity and you strengthen emotional regulation circuits in the ventromedial prefrontal cortex. So brain translation, labeling emotions is like taking off the helmet. You still protect yourself, but you stay open enough to connect. I had a dream of me eating brains some years ago. I took that as needing brain food. Listening to you now, maybe it means something else. Okay. So you're going to label how you feel. You're going to label it. And now the amygdala has to calm down. I feel angry. I feel frustrated. You're calming down because the prefrontal cortex is where the problem solving occurs. So if you don't know how you feel, how are you going to do something about it? How are you going to do that? So 5.9 billion adults are unwilling to feel. They all got this armor on, and they all want other people to fix themselves. How? If 5.9 billion people have on emotional armor, somebody got to start taking the armor off. Somebody got to start crying in public. Somebody got to start saying, this happened to me. Did it happen to you? Somebody has to say it happened to me. And while it happened to me, I was still accomplishing shit and being a bad motherfucker. That's what someone has to do. And then other people have to do it too. Someone has to say that. Someone has to say, I have 26 SAs. Why? Because people, men, don't like seeing strong women do strong things. And so the only way that they can make you feel vulnerable and weak is to try to assault you. Take away that doggone confidence. Snatch it from you. Unsuccessfully. Unsuccessfully. So we are to say these are recognizing our feelings and taking the breaths. So you take the breaths and then you start to recognize what you're feeling. And the process is, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling it? And what am I getting ready to do about it? That's the process. Dr. Donna, Amy as well, take a look at the PDF of feelings. Yes, may I? Yes, message me, Sean, so I'll know to send it to you. Otherwise, I got exfoliating the shower and all that. I got stuff to talk to Nola about. If you don't message me, I'm gonna forget who wants it. So if you want that PDF, you need to message me on Instagram and just say, send me the PDF, and I will know. So yeah, so you got to label what you feel. 10 significant seconds of silence when it happens, because the amygdala is going to automatically say, armor up. No, don't armor up. Take this shit off and feel. Feel all of your feelings, the good ones, the bad ones, the melancholiness, the caloricness, everything. Feel them all. That's the insula's job, is to tell you, hey, we're hot, we're cold, our heart is beating, we're happy, this is a great thing. That's the job. But you armored it up and said, no, we are only going to feel things that don't cause us pain. We're going to be fake as a $4 bill with our face on it, because that's what keeps us safe and stuck and not growing with a fixed mindset. And then you sit there and judge everybody else's armor. Why they do that? That was stupid. They over there looking at you like, why you do that? That was stupid. Everybody's armored up. That's why it seems so strong, because they're not really being vulnerable. Next is to choose reflection over reaction. So the armor reacts, the PFC reflects. The armor reacts, and the PFC say, hold up, wait a minute, let me see what's actually taking place. So when you ask, what's really happening here? Or what am I protecting myself from? Now you got to ask a question. When you ask the question, now the brain has to respond. It has to go look for data. Be objective is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. It has to go look for information to answer the question. And so you recruit the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. That's the brain's logic and perspective region. And this helps you respond with awareness and not defensiveness. And that's why you need the breathing app. That's why you need to meditate, so you can have emotional regulation when you're not in need of your armor. That's what the breathing app is for. Jared uses his Fitbit and has 2 to 4 minutes worth of breathing because the brain gets accustomed to regulation. And so it's not accustomed to brain fog and armor. Now, number 4 is you practice vulnerability as a strength. So true real leaders understand vulnerability is not weakness, it's neural strength training. It is neural strength training. That's why you're on Instagram. That's why you're doing the neural reps throughout the day, so you can strengthen. When I say, tell me about this, what's your best thing? Go yesterday, and if you didn't answer on the chat, what's your life philosophy, your philosophy about life, go and do that when you get off this live before you do anything else. Because if you don't have a life philosophy or philosophy of life, then you need to say that too. If you've already done it, then you've done it. It wasn't there when I woke up at 2:30 this morning. Nobody had answered it at that point. Or maybe one person. I take that back. I think Daisy or Danielle had answered it. So you're going to practice being vulnerable. And every time you let your prefrontal cortex override fear and speak with authenticity, you rewire your brain towards courage and connection. Every time I say my sister was a loosey-goosey and very abusive, every time I say my stepfather tried to do a lot of things for 4 years and I told my mother and she stayed married to that motherfucker, that's my truth. That's my truth. And no one can say, well, what did you do? That's what my ex-husband said. Well, what did you do? Bitch, nothing. I was 19 years old, minding my own business. I ain't do shit but be home with this fool by myself. That's what I did. So then my ex-husband comes home and said, yeah, this ain't going to work out for us because I don't believe that you didn't do anything first. Got it. We need to go ahead and get a divorce then. If you think that I did something at 19, not this grown-ass man 23 years older than me, initiating shit, trying to, you going to think that? Because he couldn't process that. You know what I'm saying? Come home talking about, yeah, I thought about it, but I just can't believe that why didn't you leave? Why didn't you leave? Why did you let it go on for so long? Why didn't you? I was 19. Why should I have had to do anything? Why did he do it? Why did he walk around the house pleasuring himself naked while I'm at home? Why he do that? Never asked why he did it. Blame the victim. So I kept my mouth closed for a very long time until I didn't. And I still got blamed. And then it kept bothering me. So on May 5th, 2022, I called that Cinco de Slapo. Yeah, that part. So, yeah, whole time blaming me. And she's still married to him. And she has told people that I am a mean, venomous, horrible person. And now she told people that I'm holding my daughter hostage over here. My daughter ain't got no friends. And I got her in a trance and all. So the brain will make up a bunch of stuff for you to not look at your own shit. It will. And I am letting all the people in the family on all sides think that what she said was true. I'm like, ain't nobody emailed me and reached out to me to find out what was actually going on. So yeah, I've asked her many a times, why did you stay? And she cannot answer that question because that would have her have to take this armor off and look at why her own namesake. She chose that second husband over her own baby and namesake. She'd have to take that armor off. And that's not going to happen because she would prefer to be a wife than a mother and a grandmother. So the narrative is the narrative, and she will die with that lie. And I won't know anything about it because I don't have no contact. If someone happens to tell me that she's dead, okay, cool, got it. Roger that. And here's the story about it. So let me tell y'all what happened. Hopefully I don't get flagged. It occurred. So when she got out of treatment, they met in treatment. When she got out of treatment in February of 87, she moved him in the house in June of 87. They tell you to take a year off out of treatment before you date anybody, but that's another story. So I was 13 going on 14. So it took him 4 years to propose, 5 years for them to get married. 3 months before their wedding, he started doing that. Now I had to make a decision. This lady been begging this man, because I'm a leader. I was already PFC and Army Reserves and ROTC. This lady been begging this man to marry her for 5 years. 3 months before the wedding, everybody thinks he's a nice guy, he's wonderful and everything else. 3 months before the wedding, he starts to do this. And I got to decide, do I ruin her life or mine? And I chose to ruin mine so she could be happy. And I didn't say anything until I got married. And then I said something, and my ex-husband blamed me. And everybody went back to business as usual. But then a moment happened when we were doing something, work for him, and he threw some hats on the floor. We were organizing his closet for Nola's business. And my mother sat there on the couch and watched him throw these hats like this on the floor, and she kept watching television. And that was November 8th of 2021. So we finished, because the task was in TaskRabbit, we finished the task, and I said, I'm not going back over there for a whole year. I need a break. And she kept trying to harass me, tell me to come over for holidays. And then on May 5th, 2022, she told me to bring her goddamn keys to her house. And I brought more than the keys. I brought the pain and everything else. And we pulled up. I told Nola, pull up in front of the neighbor's house. And Nola was like, oh, shit. It's like plausible deniability. You can't see shit. You don't know shit. My word against theirs. And then things occurred. And that was the last time I saw them. And then I emailed her and told her exactly what happened in full. And then while I was taking care of business, she sat there and helped let me defend myself on my own. And that's when I knew I will never be back here and I will never see you again because of that armor. Now, 2 years ago when I told the story, I was well up 1 year ago, but this doesn't bother me anymore because it's my truth. And now that I know about the brain, they're going to die with the lie. I tend to sacrifice myself to benefit others. Why they always flip shit to make you look like the crazy one. That's what I get from my family about their crazy shit. Look like you're the crazy. You're the one crazy. Yes. And so it happens because of this armor. And I ask myself often, God, why does so many things have to happen to me? And it's because now people can't use that as the excuse to take their armor off. So if I was never essayed, if I was never physically accosted and verbalized and all these other things passed over for promotions and everything else, then everyday people will be able to say, you understand. And your daughter doesn't have mental illness, and your ex-husband didn't cheat on you, and you don't get to say that shit. It happened. Still took the armor off because it would have stopped me. If I kept that armor on, I'm hurting me. Armor start cutting in your skin. Now you need shea butter. It's hard to pee if you got armor on. Hard to eat. Hard to drink water because you can't put your neck back. Hard to sleep because you got all that damn metal on. Right. And it didn't work because I took my armor off. So it only works if you both have armor on. Now you can say that, but I took that and I call it dropping a rope. You can't play tug of war with somebody if the other side dropped the rope. Fuck it, I'm out. I'll be the bad guy. That's Scarface, my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. I'll be the bad guy in your narrative. But the truth is the truth. You can't deny the truth. So my point is that you have to be vulnerable enough to say those things because it didn't just happen to just you. It's happening to 5.9 billion people and everybody armoring up instead of taking that shit off. Instead of taking it off. You got to take the armor off. You have to. You cannot keep it on. You can't. So you think it's protection, but it's not. It's stopping you. Emotional armor may protect your heart, but it's paralyzing your growth. That's what that says up there. That's what's happening. Your growth is being paralyzed because of them. Don't go to your deathbed with armor on. Because that's where the coulda, shoulda, woulda came from. Because you let Amy and Lala and the basal ganglia talk you into being armored up. And you missed out on so much. You can't even experience life at the highest level because you're too worried about feeling something. Because you don't want to feel pain. And you don't want to feel rejected and dejected and judged. But as soon as enough of us take this fucking armor off, everybody will take it off. And then we will be in a different world. Literally. Because people will literally be feeling and talking and conversing. And we won't have all this pedophile shit and all this other dumb shit happening because everybody will be fixing themselves. They will be taking this off and taking control of their whole damn life. Their whole damn life. That's why I'm so transparent. That's why I got my heart on my sleeve. Somebody got to be the first person through the damn door. And why not me? Because what you can't say, well, that's because you came from the ghetto and you got 5 baby daddies and you ain't never been married before. And that's because you a hoe. And that's because you was a stripper. And that's because I have 1 marriage, 1 child, 1 divorce. I am a disabled veteran. and a person with 3 degrees with not so much as a moving violation in over 20 years. What you gonna say? Who gonna say something? But I got enough street on me to say bullshit. And I got enough school in me to say that it's neurologically possible to strengthen the prefrontal cortex and create emotional regulation. See how that works? See how this is a perfect spot for me to be in? And have a highly effective, productive child too. Well, your child is in and out of jail. You got 15 kids and 4 baby daddies and all that. No, 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 no. I told my cousin not to go to her deathbed without telling her truth. Exactly. It's great to recognize the reason why our family hurts us with armor. I can put words to it now. Yes, Sean, this is very lighting. Now, the other part of that is that my cousin, my favorite cousin, if you read the article that died, her mother had a boyfriend that was assaulting, tried to assault my sister and assaulted both her daughters, and her youngest daughter had a baby by him. Now, my mother told us when we were in elementary school, when my sister was in middle school, and my mother told us we could never go down there again because of him. His name was Caudate. No, you can never go back down there. And then finding out 15 years later that she was married to a Caudate, she stayed. Ain't that ironic? Yo, ain't never. They had to go to court. My sister had to testify and everything. You said what now? You said what? Oh, shoes on the other foot now. Okay, got it. Roger that. See how that armor works? the cognitive dissonance of it all. Yes. So yeah, that part. Have no idea, no reason why she has chosen to stay. But I'm not being quiet anymore because you're as sick as your secrets. I'm not keeping y'all secrets anymore. Not at all. The truth is the truth. You can say whatever you want. Why would I lie? What benefit do I have of lying? They're not famous. They don't have any money. They regular retired folks. What the fuck? What? That there's no a public persona to take and diminish. What? Just the truth. That's deep as hell, ain't it? Try carrying that around. So I dropped that shit. I took that shit off and said no. Imagine if I'm still carrying all of that. I don't get to this. I don't get to this point. That's why I said I'm the baddest motherfucker walking the face of the planet Earth. Because like Antoine Fisher said in the movie, I'm still standing and I'm still strong. You didn't stop shit. You might have slowed it down for a little bit, but you're not stopping my greatness. I'm like a big bad eagle soaring through the sky. You're not about to stop me. That's what I'm saying. People are like, you understand that, you understand. No, you don't understand your greatness. You got 86 billion neurons. You using them or you using excuses? Which one you sitting on today? Please enlighten me. Let me know. Because it's some bullshit. That's what I say. Everybody's not as strong as you. You actually have to be extremely strong to be extremely vulnerable, to be extremely transparent. It actually takes neurological strength to do it because you got to get through it. You got to cry. You got to feel all that pain again because there was armor around it. You got to take it off. You got to put some salve on them scars. And then you got to be able to tell other people, yep, that happened. And so did this. That happened and that was negative, but this happened and that's positive. That's why I think positive is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So I don't want to hear your excuses. That's why if it feels like I don't have empathy for people, what I have is zero motherfucking tolerance for excuses. That's what I have. Now, if you say, damn, I need to work through this, I got to fill this PDF for you to work through it. I do. My daughter used to have to at 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night. We used to have to sit down. She had to look at the feelings PDF and process what she was feeling. And that's where the system of what am I feeling, what am I feeling, why am I feeling it, and what am I going to do about it? But you do it for all feelings, the good ones and the bad ones, the ones in the middle. You do it for all of them so you will recognize what you are feeling. And when you see that list, you're going to be like, damn, that's a feeling. That's a feeling. I didn't know that was a feeling. Is that a feeling? That's is why I came to this platform, the total truth as well. I have learned so much about myself. Thank you, Dr. Donna, for you and the empowerment. Well received. My pleasure. Empowering others is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. That's why I don't say inspiration and motivation, because that shit wears off. Where do I message you for the feeling PDF? Instagram. Message me on Instagram. because I can't send shit on, I can't send it to you on YouTube. So yeah, message me on Instagram and I will get to it today. I got to take my shower and take a nap. I'm tired as hell. Had to make 16 drawers yesterday, but we don't have an appointment till 4:30. So you will have it today. And you never go more than 24 hours without hearing from me. So that's that. So here's what I would like to say, ladies and gentlemen, now that you've heard some of the stories, a whole lot. That's why Nola said I need to do a docu-series like Game of Thrones. It need to be season 1 like BMF. We need to do Dr. Donna. Because y'all would be like, first of all, how is she vertical and sober and still the same size she was in high school? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, and then, and what? How is she still vertical? When we gonna get to the good part? Like, when does it stop? And it doesn't. And that's just life. And there you go. Exactly, Tyler. All this priceless info for just $9.99. $9.99. Because people keep asking me, is it hundreds? Go figure. Because I'm working on my personal legend. I'm working on my personal legend, and I'm self-aware. And I'm an everyday leader for everyday life because I ain't got to sit on no platform and talk to other people. What I did find out yesterday is they announced the 3 doctors that earned the Nobel Prize. They're Nobel laureates in medicine and physiology. And I did some research yesterday, and what I found is that there has never been someone with an EDD earn a Nobel Prize in medicine or physiology because of what a person with an EDD does. So I said, well, there's going to be a first, because I am the first EDD that put neuroscience together with it, which is what neuromobility is, because EDDs train principles and all of that. They teach in school. They're doing practical applications, but they have no theory, theoretically, and you have to be able to wait for it, change humanity. And I didn't even know that until yesterday, that part. Yes, drink water. I forgot. Thank you so much, because we didn't. So drink some water. Thank you, Bridget. I got caught up in going back down memory lane. That's why I have it there, because then I'll be off live and then my whole throat will be dry. So drink water. Drink water. All right. So now, for the looky-loos and the people in the shadows, get your ass over to Instagram so you can take this damn armor off. Subscribe. I don't care if you don't have an Instagram account. I don't care if you don't know how to use Instagram. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Take your ass over to Instagram so you can become extraordinary, so you can stop hiding behind this shit. And you can start living transparently so that you can start strengthening your prefrontal cortex, because that's keeping your prefrontal cortex weak as well. So everybody that's already over there, go answer the question about your life philosophy. I'm holding all content in the chat. Nola ain't gonna ask y'all a question for the day until y'all go over there and respond to that. Because if you don't have a life philosophy, how you getting up in the morning? What are you standing for? What are you standing for? And so, yeah, I got a bunch of stories that I could tell. A bunch of stories. But that's not going to help you. You got to take your armor off. Hiding in plain sight, exactly. You got to take your armor off. That's why I'm appear to be. I remember when I was volunteering at the Urban Chamber, and they told me, Dr. Donna, you different. You talk to us, the staff, and everybody else. They're like, people just come in here. They don't say nothing to us. They don't do anything for us. I'm like, but y'all people. Y'all people. I totally had no clue how it worked on Instagram. That's correct, Sean. It took Sean 4 days to get through. And now Sean is over there. She pushing all kind of buttons. All kind of buttons. Liking and adding stuff and everything else. And she has opened up so many neural pathways because that is what it is there for. It is there for you to be extraordinary in your own individually unique way, independent of any neurotoxicity that exists, so that you can get a strong prefrontal cortex. And now the people where you are can see what a strong prefrontal cortex looks like. And then they, as you are early adopters, will say, shit, I want some of that. That's that good over there. It sure is. It's that neurological good. It's that neural pathway good. That's what this actually is for you. Because imagine how every time you feel on this live and all how you feel in the chat on Instagram and everything else, just imagine that's how it feels when you walk outside. That's how it feels when you go to the grocery store, when you interact. when you go to a concert, a sporting event, everywhere you go, everybody has neurological regulation, and they took this off. So they're following the rules of the road. The grocery stores, the farmers, everybody, we have real food and everything else because people are okay with being vulnerable when it's time to be, and it doesn't mean that you're weak. People are actually using their insula to feel real feelings. People are themselves instead of clones and little bitty soldiers and pawns walking around. Everybody has the ability to tap into these 86 billion neurons and do what they came here to do. That's why I know you're not doing what you came here to do, because somebody else can do it too. You're not doing what you came here to do. You're doing what this armor will allow you to do. That's it. You're not doing anything else. Nothing at all. It's at least 1 minute. Okay. You're not doing anything but what this armor is physically allowing you to do. And beyond that, you have limitations because you have to take the armor off. It is not protecting you. It is limiting you, and it is stopping you from becoming extraordinary. It is stopping you. You do not need to protect yourself from you anymore. You need to strengthen your mind so that you can be strong enough to do what you came here to do. Now, my 3 questions today are always at least 1 minute of content is needed. Okay. I don't know what is happening with that button. We're good. Supposed to be creating more shorts for YouTube. So my question to you is, what did you learn today? What did you learn about yourself? And what did you learn about the brain? And this is the brain bit right here, this armor. If you're looking for what the brain bit was, that's it. What did you learn about yourself today? What did you learn today? And what did you learn about your brain? And go ahead and drink water. Yes, drink water. Drink water! It's here. The armor is keeping me in a box. It is. It's not keeping you safe, it's keeping you stuck. That's not the same thing. And you will be better defending yourself using your prefrontal cortex because you will not have cortisol. So your problem solving and decision making would actually be better in the event that an actual threat came to you. I learned about emotional armor. The armor needs to be taken off and put in the trash. Yep. Do not recycle it. Then somebody else gonna put it on. Or you could do like Sean with that tree and take it all off and turn it into something positive, some art of some sorts. And then you could say, that was my emotional armor. And I had it on for these reasons. And then it could be a talking piece. I have learned, Sean says, I have learned today, putting on armor, you cannot heal the issues that you are hurting from. That is correct. You cannot. You can hide. You can definitely hide from it, but you're never going to heal from it. I would also like to say, imagine if I was Dr. Donna, I decided to start talking about the brain, but I only picked the parts that made me keep my armor on. Then we still don't have this information. That's why I'm saying this is so important to do, because you can't do anything else without knowing how your brain functions, so you know how you function. Then you can go off and do extraordinary things, whatever it is that you came to do. That's why I said this is for everybody. Thought leaders and all of that. People with large platforms, because you're not really giving your whole self to the platform. I need to keep taking off the last layers of armor. It's Regina. My brain is resilient and getting stronger every day. Yes, ma'am. That's what I said to you in your submission yesterday. Absolutely. Happy to be me. I will be enhanced, my brain, because I always want to stay truthful and recognizing me and the armor are crutches. Yes. This is an aha moment for Jerry. Aha. As it should be. As it should be. So the more you are active and honest in the chat, the more active and honest you are. Like they say in yoga, life on the mat is life off the mat. That's how it goes. And so I am not one of those people. Lola, thanks for this knowledge. My pleasure, Lola. Yeah, I'm not one of them people that's not going to say what happened. Somebody got to lead by example. And if you say it long enough and tell people enough, then all the hurt goes away. And then you can just, I mean, as a speaker, if I needed to go for some inference, I could do that. But I can just say it now. I wasn't wrong when I spoke my truth about my teenage, about my feelings to my father and his sister, even though her grandchildren said I was disrespectful because she is my elder. Shit, I'm grown, not a child. All right, all right, Bridget. I learned about myself. I had a feeling of armor on. Yes. And you can't be your authentic self. You can't. And Amy and Lala on the basal ganglia are going to tell you, no, don't say that. The hippocampus is going to remind you, hey, they over here trying to take the armor off. No, tell them mount up. The hell? But you don't need it. Then that's what's wrong. Negativity bias has us believing that we need to have the armor on. Defense mode. No. That's no braino. Absolutely no braino. It's not. It's hurting. And it keeps hurting. And think about if somebody got some armor on, if you think of Game of Thrones and stuff, they're hurting. We're hurting each other because we're hurting. So hurt people. And it's easier to hurt more when you got on armor because you're like, I got to penetrate through all that armor. Or you can just, everybody can just take it off and just say, you know what, this shit is heavy. I'm good. I was isolated yesterday, so my brain talk was with myself about how I'm building my brain strength, and I like how it feels. Yes, ma'am. You were in your, not isolated. Isolated is the wrong word. You were in your default mode network. It's called the DMN. That's when you are by yourself. So isolated sounds like solitary confinement. You could say yesterday while I was in my default mode network, I spent most of my day in my default mode network. So I was building my brain strength. So retype that, Bridget. Yesterday, I spent time in my default mode network. You're wiring your brain to use the brain terms so that you will be purposeful when you do it. Noah said, my conversation about my brain talking about feelings in the moments makes me feel lighter and clears my head so I can move forward. Yes, we were at an appointment and you were sick of those damn frames and rails on those. You had enough of this repetitive ass appointments that you keep getting. So that's what's taking place. So any other questions for Dr. Donna before we go? Sean, my brain conversation is that I need to get caught up on my session questions going forward. Yes, for forward. Yes, you have to go in there every day, because I'm busy. I'm stopping what I'm doing. Nola's busy. She's stopping what she's doing. And that's the whole point, is to take the brain break so you can go. Those are your neural reps. You are strengthening your prefrontal cortex because you got to process the question. You got to process the answer. You got to listen to the audio. You got to answer the poll question. You got to answer the prompt. So you are strengthening your prefrontal cortex. How do I talk to my children instead of getting all worked up when it's about important life development in childhood? You are going to need to strengthen your prefrontal cortex. So you can go to Instagram and you can subscribe and you can start strengthening your prefrontal cortex, because that's like a symptom. The root cause is that you have a weak prefrontal cortex. That's how you can do it. Me telling you that is not going to stop Amy and Lala from popping off. It's not going to create dysregulation in your life. And so you want to keep the armor on and have me answer this one question for you. And the answer is no. Go subscribe on Instagram and start fixing you first. It fixes a lot. In default mode network when I think to myself. Yes, ma'am, that is correct. That is correct. So what you can do is strengthen your prefrontal cortex, and then everything that you can do will be greater. I could actually answer that question for you right now, and I could actually give you a strategy for it, because I have a child that's amazing, that I raised and did a great job at it. However, you have emotional dysregulation, and your children have watched you. They've listened to what you do their entire life. And so now you are saying, I want to get this through. But they observed you in the time that they've been here. So you got emotional dysregulation. My answer is not going to change the current situation. You need more neural pathways, and it happens on Instagram. And Bridget, yesterday I spent time in my default mode network and my brain talk was with myself. I'm sorry I forgot your exact wording. Now, that's okay. I understand perimenopause moment. But yeah, it's your default mode network, DMN. You can use this. So for prefrontal cortex, you can say PFC. Anterior cingulate cortex, you can say ACC. And for your DMN, you can say default mode network. And for your brain-derived neurotropic factor, you can say BDNF. Now, who the fuck named that thing? It's crazy. Like, who gonna... So today I'm working on my brain-derived neurotropic factor and I exercise. You ain't got time to say all that? Really? Come on now. They definitely could have shortened that. You know a scientist came up with that craziness. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to pee. I had some tea and some coffee and some water. So we are coming to the end of the road for today. And God willing, higher power in the universe, in the words of the Terminator, I'll be back. Tomorrow, same time, same place, safe space, different brain t-shirt, potentially different wig. You all go off and answer that doggone question in the doggone chat. And then you can have a brain-tastic day. Take care.